Yeah, they scored well against the zone too. I did go back and look at that. Our man defense, they made some shots too. When I went back and watched the game, I mean, like they made a couple of really tough shots. Harper Camp's little jump hook, even though that's one of his best shots, was from pretty far out. It was outside the paint. That was a big shot. Gutierrez drove one time and drove all the way. I mean, he was just in the zone. He was making some tough shots. So you have to give them credit. I mean, they did a good job. Man, Arizona, and they missed a couple. Like Crab had a wide open three against our zone where they got it inside, kicked it back out, and he just missed it. I mean, the one thing I hate about zones is that eventually, if they're patient, they're going to get a good shot where it's an outside shot, but you're running at them. And we were fortunate there. He missed that one.
So upon further reflection, no further preference for zone?
No, it's not. We're not going to be playing zone. I mean, the reason I went to it in that game was because of the foul trouble to Reeves and to Josh. Josh had 4 fouls. I think Josh played with 4 fouls. He played with 3 fouls for a while, and then with 4 for quite a while before he finally fouled out in the overtime.
Were your players sick in that game?
God, I have to go back and think. Were they sick? They were sick after the game. Yeah.
In particular, seemed to not have much energy out there.
He played a lot of minutes. I mean, I think he played 38 out of the 45 minutes. But I don't think he was sick, no.
So no flu?
No, not that I'm aware of.
Does Brendan Lane warrant a little more time?
I thought he did a good job in the Cal game. So I was glad to see him, score a couple baskets along with that 3. He had a good couple baskets around the basket, which were good. So, yeah, that was good that, he gained a little confidence by playing well in that game at Cal.
Is this kind of a trap game?
God, I don't think so. I mean, this was a huge game for us. They're coming off a win. And they've been close. I was watching some of their tape against Cal, at Cal, just in the last few weeks. They had Cal down 7 with the ball with 6 minutes and 20 seconds to go. And we just, know what it's like to play Cal at Cal. And, so we're going to have to play really well Thursday to win. I mean, we crushed them in overtime down there by, 1? 73-72 or something like that. I mean, we're going to have to play really well to have success. They won their game Saturday against Washington State without Abbott or Kukoc, and we're still able to win the game. Lockett had 20 points and played great. The freshman kid from Minnesota, how do you say it, Creek? How do you say his name? Yeah, he had 18 and hit 4 threes in that game, and he's playing well for him right now. McMillan's been playing very good. He played good against us starting in the second half of that game. I think he fouled out, if I'm not mistaken, in our game. He's played well ever since. He's been their leading scorer in a couple games. They've been right there. And then they knocked off Washington State, which is a very good win. Yeah, I mean, every loss hurts, but that was a critical loss. We had a great opportunity. I thought we were really, like I said, flat to start the game. I went back and watched it. They changed up what they had been doing. They came out and played as a man right from the beginning, which is something they hadn't done in the previous 2 or 3 weeks. And, I read Montgomery's quotes the next day in the paper that they really challenged the kids, come out. And it was a very physical game. I was really pleased when I go back and watch the game again with our effort to come back. And, we had the lead. I mean, we had the ball, and Zeke got a good look at a good shot for him with 25 seconds on the clock. Where we really hurt ourselves is after he missed a shot, we allowed Gutierrez to get all the way to the rim and fouled him down there. Rather than making them score. The fouls hurt us. And, he just got all the way to the basket in transition, which was, unfortunate for us. Probably we would have been better off if we were going to not make that shot, which you never know. It would have been better off to take a shot clock violation and at least have your defense set. So they've got to, do something down at the other end.
Mentally good. You go from 10 and 11 and you lose one on a bump here. Have you sensed any shift in the way players are thinking about things a day later?
God, I don't think so. I mean, everybody's disappointed we lost, and we were right there to win the game. It's not like, we got crushed, and, we were right there. We had as good a chance as they did coming down the stretch. We get the jump ball to start the overtime. We score first. We had our chances.
Coach Tyler was doing pretty well with turnovers for a few weeks there. It seems like he just kind of collapsed over the last 3 games. Is there any?
I think, how many did he have in Stanford? I thought he had, how many did he have at Stanford?
18 the last 3 games.
Yeah. I didn't think it was that many against Stanford for some reason. But, he's just got to be focused on it and take better care of the ball and, take less risk with some of his passes.
It looked like a couple weren't even necessarily bad passes. They were just fumbled the ball and they kind of swiped it. I mean, is his focus?
Well, he had the first one he had was one where it was in transition and Reese was going right down the middle. He's expecting to look, but he's not looking. He's passing on the run. I'm this old fogey that likes jump stops because when you slow down and take your time, and I'll tell you what, who was great at jump stopping and making great passes was Gutierrez. I mean, in our game, I go back and watch the film. It's like, he's a great passer, and he really did a nice job jump stopping, making little dish-offs to their bigs for layups. Some of them they didn't finish on. He really did a good job at that. That's would be my big thing is to slow down. And then he had one, 4 minutes to go where he was driving the baseline. And sometimes Tyler's looking to pass first instead of shoot first. Like he drove baseline and jumped in the air and had nowhere to go. And we had a turn about 4 minutes to go. And I actually told him today, just go up and attack the rim on that because he was coming baseline. The worst case scenario watching a film is he was going to get fouled. And so, I would rather have him shoot a little more and pass a little less.
Do you think that line says the result is part of the shoulder, elbows?
I really don't. That's who he is. He loves to pass. I think the thing that brings him most pleasure and joy is when he makes a great pass, it leads to an easy basket. But that's who he's been from day one. Well, yeah, there's only so many times I can, it's move on. We are where we are. You can't dwell on negative for too long. He knew he made a mistake. He's a bright kid. So I do remember the play. I don't remember, what I said. I actually, of course, I said, don't jump in the air to pass. I say that every day to a lot of our players. You'll see it all the time in college basketball. Guys are always jumping in the air and they have nowhere to go, and it's just a common mistake that you see over and over again. And it's it's something I've always tried to teach.
Ben, what's your policy on Reeves bringing up the ball?
Earlier in the season, he was really doing a good job. I thought he was one of our best decision makers, and where he's really been hurt is not stopping when he makes the pass. Like the other night, he made a good pass. Now, the one time, when he got his second foul on the block charge call, as I reviewed that, that was a call that could have gone either way for sure. And that's, saying it nicely here on camera so that I, make sure I'm being politically correct. But definitely could have been a call that, and you're always going to have some of those. Tyler Honeycutt's foul down 50-48 was a similar type situation. I don't know if you guys remember where he was right in the middle of the paint and they called a charge on him because it was a great play by it was Gutierrez in both situations on those plays. He's very good at selling the foul. Yeah, I don't think it's ever happened like that. He had a couple that were coming right to him, and somehow they got knocked out of his hand. I mean, I watched the film in detail, but I don't think I'm not worried about that happening again.
Was there an issue with blocking? Did you see an issue with blocking out after watching the tape in that game?
Yeah, the free throw, which was a huge play, but there was also a long rebound. I mean, it was it was a perfect storm in terms of. We're inside, we've got position, but yet, we're not completely whacking the guy, making more. Some rebounders go get the ball quicker than others after they block out. But, yeah, I mean, in rebounding, blocking, we're outboarding our opponent, I think, by 4 rebounds a game in league now. Is that about right? So, it's been an improvement from the non-conference to the conference in terms of overall team rebounding. But, yeah, there's always, we need to be better at blocking out.
What kind of rebound numbers you want out of Josh? I don't think he's had a 10 rebound game since UCLA.
We had 9 rebounds against Stanford, if I'm not mistaken. So, I mean, that was very good. He's been right there. I think he's had 9 rebounds on a number of occasions, actually, more than one. I'd love to get Josh get a 15 rebound number. A lot of his numbers in the past were on the offensive boards, and my big thing for him is to get more defensive rebounds.
Last time you guys played Arizona, I know this is a game ahead. Last time you guys played Arizona, Williams was the hottest guy in the league. Well, he's hot again. Thinking back on that game, anything you do differently or?
Yeah, I'm not. I'm sorry. I mean, we'll talk about the game on Friday, and I'll hopefully have had a chance to watch the film before we talk about it. I haven't watched the film or anything of our game against Arizona. But I will. So it's, just remembering that game. I just remember we were down at half, and we were right there to start. We had a chance to take a lead. I think, we did have the lead at halftime, didn't we? We had the lead at Arizona at halftime. By 2 or 3 points, and then Zeke got the flagrant foul or the elbow call, and that kind of was a snowball effect. But that's kind of what I remember. He is a great player. Derek Williams is really a good talent, and he's a big time player, and he's playing really good, even when you consider he's got his hand. I guess he hurt his hand in our game, split the. I don't know exactly what he did, but I mean he's shooting the ball well and playing really well with that thing pretty heavily bandaged.
Coach, a lot has been said about your turnover issues, but you guys aren't forcing. I mean, you guys are last in the conference enforcing turnovers. Is that a product of this kind of defense that you guys are playing, or just?
Yeah, we're playing more position and less pressure, we've forced more turnovers in the past. This is not a team that is forcing a lot of turnovers. I didn't know we were last, but I knew we weren't forcing a lot of turnovers. I mean, my thing is that our field goal percentages, defense is better, and percentage-wise, that's the most important thing. Oregon State is leading the league in forcing turnovers, right? Yeah. Yeah, that's happened before, but it really was in particular with Josh a couple times, and that's how he's been playing it all year. I mean, and he got a little bit, not being aggressive because he had 4 fouls. So, there was a couple times where Gutierrez is coming at him. He's playing with 4 fouls, and instead of moving with him and continuing to retreat, he just kind of stopped, and Gutierrez went around him. And, hopefully he can not get into foul trouble.
I mean, is Cal kind of an enigma? I mean, you look at their record, 14 and 13. I mean, this is a team that maybe could possibly.
Yeah, I mean, you got to remember now, they lost to Arizona in triple overtime at home and had them beat twice. I mean, literally, where they were up 5 with 30 seconds to go in regulation. I mean, they're a team that is very dangerous. And then they lose one of the games or 2 of the games they lost were when Crabbe gets a concussion. So obviously, when you take out him out of the lineup, it's difficult. And one of those was a home game, one was a road game, and actually 3 games. Because he only played about 10 minutes of the Washington game in Seattle. So, he misses 3 games essentially, or 2.5 plus with the concussion. That, changes the game completely.
You talked about Josh and fouls, Coach. Back before the big 10 out of 11, Josh was starting and getting in foul trouble. Then you guys made that switch, and not so much, and then you start seeing double-digit figures from him. How big a deal is it when Josh gets in foul trouble in terms of dictating how the game's going to go?
Yeah, it's a problem, but he's been doing very well at it for the most part. And you look at his minutes. I mean, I think he played 27, 28 minutes now the last 4 games in a row. So he's been playing more minutes than he's played all year over the course of the last few weeks, which has been, helpful for us. No, and I should have played him more. And I talked to him about that, because he gives us good defensive presence, and that was my fault.
Do you expect to see Abbott
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. They have him listed as questionable, according to Ryan Finney, but from all indications that I get, they're both going to play. In fact, Abbott, I guess, is even quoted as saying he's going to play somewhere.
Do you have an assistant who handles, or not who handles, but who maybe suggests playing rotation or putting guys in? Someone said we should probably get Lamb in or anything like that. Do you know guys like that?
No.
Have you ever?
No. I mean, they may say that, that could happen during the course of a game, but I don't have anybody specified to, say something like that.
Coach, talking about the defensive effort, you had strung together a number of games where it seemed like the defensive effort had improved, and then this game wasn't quite there. What would you say?
You know what? I don't know if their defensive effort wasn't there as much. Our offense is what really hurt us in the first half. I mean, we shot 29%, which is why we were down 11 at halftime. I mean, I don't know what they shot in the first half, but what did they shoot? 40%. Yeah, 46? Yeah. It was shooting 29%. That was really a problem. And then the offensive rebounds. And I watched the tape. I mean, they're like Solomon had one tip, where the ball shot on the right side, and it comes back off towards his side, which is on the right side, instead of the left side where you normally expect it to come. One time Crabbe misses a shot. Lamb is recovering. He contests it, but he kind of flies by him, and Crabbe obviously knew he was missing it, and he went right back and got it and put it in. I mean, they had 6 or 7 offensive rebounds, and it seemed like each one of those rebounds led to a basket in the first half. To me, it was as big as anything. When we made some, execution errors in some of our stuff offensively, just the little things that we should have down pat by now. But when we practiced for the Cal game the day before, we were not practicing any man stuff. I mean, we were considering that they were probably going to go zone because that's what they had been doing. They had played zone primarily, and so you know, you only have so much time you want to put in where you're going full speed the day before a game. And so the majority of our stuff was defending them and then also working again on our zone offense.
Is Zeke's wrist still a big issue for him? He hasn't attempted more than 7 shots since I think he hurt.
Yeah, I don't know that it affects his shots attempted. You know, he made.
Confidence or just, you know, is he tackling?
Yeah, I think, you know, they've changed how it's being taped now a little more. It gives him a little more movement and freedom. I think he's handling the ball better with his left hand than he was, you know, a week ago.
Is that loss kind of really the margin of error the rest of the way as far as the team tournament?
Yeah, I don't know that.
In games like Thursday, you would figure you can't lose this game.
Yeah, I mean, you sound like you're on the committee, Ben. I'll take that to heart.
Not agree with that?
Yeah, I don't, you know, I'm not even worried about it. I'm just worried about the next game. Yeah. All I'm thinking about is I think you asked if it was a trap game. And to me, you know, it's not because it's so important. We have to win this game. I mean, that's the mentality and the attitude we have to have. That as far as I'm concerned, we go into every game like that. So, I mean, it was, you know, you're asking these questions relative to tournament or, you know, where we're going to – I mean, every game in my heart is a must-win. We have to win it. And I've got to get that across to our team.
With the sense of urgency is heightened based on
But it's already as high as it should be as far as I'm concerned. I mean, it can't get any higher. The sense of urgency is always there. That's how you have to be, you know. You know, that's, you know, I'm not sure if that's what you're looking for, but that's really how I honestly feel.
Do you think your players are way to that level of sense of urgency? Or is that something you need to commit?
Yeah, you know, I think we've been pretty good at that recently, and then that's why it was disappointing. I felt like we were flat to start the game the other night, and I don't know if that's fair or not. It's just how I felt, you know, and maybe it's just because we weren't playing well, and but you know, that's something that we cannot afford to be. I mean, we have to have that heightened sense of urgency every time we step on the floor.
I know you said you don't like the long Thursday, Sunday. You don't like the long Thursday, Sunday.
You know, I don't like it as much on being on the road. If I'm at home, I have less of a problem with it. But being on the road, we were on the road for 6 days. We left here Wednesday and got back Monday afternoon. I mean, that's a long time to be on the road. That's, you know, it's a very long time to be on the road.
But if you're playing Thursday, Saturday, what is the word? You keep that urgency. If you're playing Thursday, Saturday, you get a better sense of urgency because everything's got to be.
God, I don't know if it's the timing of it makes it more like that. That's what we've been, you know, we're used to for the most part. I think we played 3 Sunday games this year, and we're 0 for 3 on Sunday.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Okay.